Hey, sorry about that, guys. Not sure what happened there. On my screen, it went all crazy and sideways, and so not sure what happened there. But anyways, take two. It is about 8:30 on Monday night, and I am here in the office, and I am pouring through this piece of legislation called the Competes Act, aka America Concedes Act. It's just like when you think that they cannot get any worse at crafting legislation that puts America last, Nancy Pelosi and company, they say, hold my beer. And it is truly, really frustrating sitting here pouring through this legislative text and not understanding why we cannot put America first, why we cannot put Americans first and American companies first. This should not be a controversial idea. It should not be controversial to want to work to put Americans first. It should not be a partisan exercise. You would think that Republicans and Democrats would want to do this. However, it seems like the Democrats just want to keep giving wins to China. So I'm going to walk you through what we have found so far. And I just want to show you kind of like what's all going on here. Like, yep, I'm having a beer tonight because it is that night. After reading half the stuff that is in here, you would not believe it. And I'm sorry, I'm having to hold it. I had this up on the ring light, but the thing went all crazy. So I'm having to hold it, and I'm going to try to go through this. But here's the actual legislative text. I'm going to give you guys page numbers because I know some people write in and they're like, I don't believe you. I think you're making this up. There's no way that that could possibly be in there. Well, guess what, Buttercup? You're getting page numbers tonight. So if you want to go look this up, you can absolutely look it up by section and by the title and the page number. So I want to go through some of the highlights. There's really 15 reasons that we should not be supporting this bill. And again, this whole bill, this Nancy Pelosi bill that we're voting on this week, it is called the Competes Act. And it is meant to counter China, but instead it's actually helping China. So let's just dig right in. So first, it invites more, I'm sorry, it's so bad I can't even keep a straight face. It invites more Chinese Communist Party individuals into the United States by lifting the cap on the visas. I literally cannot keep a straight face while going through this because it is so bad. It is so bad, guys. So there's an unlimited number of members of the Chinese Communist Party that are eligible to now take advantage of the new visa program to continue to carry out their spy activities here in the United States. That is on page 1,689. Keep in mind, this is a 2,900 page bill. So we have been pouring through this. There has been the Republican Study Committee, which is an awesome group of conservatives that have been working through this. Our team's been digging through it. It is crazy. Second thing that it does, and just so you know, there is the page. Boom. Right there. You can see it. 2, this bill, it has all kinds of crap tucked into it. 2, on page 1,323, it actually ties us back into the Paris Climate Accord. You remember back under President Trump, he pulled us out of that because it does nothing to fight climate change, does nothing but spend your hard-earned dollars, our hard-earned dollars, and does nothing to combat climate change. But what this does is it actually ties us back into it. That is on page 1,323. Check it out. Under Section E, implement the Paris Agreement that significantly advances global climate ambition on mitigation, adaptation, and support. Boom. Not surprised. Let's see. What other good stuff is in this bill that is just absolutely horrific? It provides more opportunities for China to steal our intellectual property. So it encourages the United States to take on parallel initiatives in research and development with the Chinese Communist Party. Now, I'm going to repeat that because even I had to reread it a few times. This bill actually encourages the the United States to do joint intellectual property, research and development in critical sensitive areas with the Chinese Communist Party. I didn't think that that was actually encouraged, but apparently under this bill it is. On page 1340, under section 7, says the United States should pursue confidence building opportunities for the United States and the People's Republic of China to undertake quote-unquote parallel initiatives on clean energy, research, development, finance, and deployment. Guys, this is insane. This is insane. It's right there. Nobody reads these damn bills. Nobody. So it also takes our military, and instead of doing readiness missions and joint training exercises with allied nations, it wants us to focus our troops on combating climate change events. Page 1396. In carrying out paragraphs 1 through 9, focus on particular ways for the United States military to develop, enhance, and strengthen its capabilities to A, monitor, receive early warning of, and coordinate responses to potential emerging events exacerbated by climate change. And it goes on this whole thing. You guys can see it. This is what they want our troops to be doing. It's not like we have Americans left in Afghanistan still, or, a crisis at the southern border, or, war about to break out. Iran is continuing to enrich uranium, and North Korea is shooting off missiles, and Russia is amassing troops. Nothing going on in the world, but that's what this bill does. It also lets China off the hook with COVID. I couldn't believe this. We have been rocked by COVID, and this bill under Nancy Pelosi, this is her Competes Act, she wants to completely let them off the hook, even though they have been responsible for a devastating pandemic that has taken American lives, crushed businesses, killed economies. No, wants them off the hook. Wants them off the hook. Wants them off the hook. That would be on page 995. No official investigation, no independent investigation, no sanctions, and no punishment. Interesting. It's so bad. It's so bad, guys. 6. This pads China's coffers. What does that mean? Well, this gives money to China through the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank for them to fight, get this, climate change. We are going to fund projects through the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank for China to combat climate change. It's not like they're not committing genocide against their own people and actively trying to, militarize the region and take over Hong Kong and Taiwan, but climate change, that's what we're gonna fund their projects. Even better. And just in case for any haters out here who want to know what page that is on, that would be 1480. That's the page number where we give China hard-earned taxpayer dollars. But it gets better, because not only are we wasting a ton of money and time and effort on a bill that does nothing but help China and hurt America, but it takes our taxpayer dollars and uses it on programs that are complete BS, not even related to what we're talking about here. Get this. It puts $8 billion in the UN Green Climate Fund, so AOC is happy. That would be on page 1392. And you can see it here. There's the text. Boom. I know I keep saying boom, but it's just, you go through this, you read it, and you get so frustrated. It establishes, guys, I can't even make this stuff up. Establishes a new federal program to study plumbing. I couldn't even believe this. I had to look it up myself. Page 227. 227. I really do encourage you guys to come look this bill up and read it. 227 is the page number. Under section 10,235, premise plumbing research. For purposes of this section, the term premise plumbing means water distribution system located within the property lines of a property, including all buildings and permanent structures on each property. Such terms include building supply and distribution pipes, fixtures, fittings, water heaters, water treating and water using equipment, and all respective joints, connections, devices, and other. So we're going to start a whole new federal program on plumbing in a so-called China bill. Cool. Serious. This is what we're dealing with here. And you guys wonder why I'm having a beer tonight. It establishes a coral reef task force and gives $6 million to NOAA to create a national coral reef management fellowship. Keep in mind that China has destroyed more reefs in their building of the Spratly Islands to establish a military zone. But are we worried about that? Do we condemn that? Not in this, no. No. But it's kind of crazy because this bill that is supposed to be countering China, it actually mentions coral reefs in it more than it mentions China. This is a 2,900-page bill. A 2,900-page bill, guys. It goes into studying mammals and regulatory support. And don't get me wrong, I'm all about saving the animals. But this is a bill to counter China, our number one nemesis. China is not our friends. They are not our allies. They are actively every single day looking to undermine us in major significant ways. And we are giving them an America Last bill, pro-Chinese bill. It is so frustrating. This bill does not take on Confucius institutes that are the Chinese propaganda machines that are on college campuses. In fact, at UNF, University of North Florida, there is a Confucius Institute. These are literal state-sponsored media propaganda machines that are disseminating information on college campuses. True story. And nothing in this bill does anything to counter them. It allows China the global platform for their propaganda through the Olympics. As you guys know, Biden has done nothing, will do nothing to push back on the Olympics. And I think at the end of the day, the thing that is just crazy to me is that this is a $250 billion bill, and it has no offsets, no pay-fors, no nothing. It just gets added to the national debt, which continues to go up with no check. And it's just really, really frustrating. So I will post all of the bill number or the page numbers on this bill so you guys can check it out if you want to, if you have insomnia or something. I keep going through this section by section, and I'm sorry, I gotta hold this. So here it is right there. Right, that's the section by section. And I've been going through, you can kind of see, just marking things. And in little things like section 61008, definitions. This section defines the end of the COVID-19 emergency period as either the end of the president's emergency declaration or December 31st, 2025. 2025. If Biden does not declare an end to the pandemic, that is where it sunsets. December 31st, 2025. You guys that are small business owners, well, heck, if you're just everyday American citizen, you know what it's been like living under COVID-19 and the pandemic response. And it's masks, it's arbitrary lockdowns, it's shutdowns, it's supply chain crises, it's inflation, it's the FDA pulling their monoclonal antibody treatments because they want to focus more on vaccine deployment. It's insane. This is really, really, really challenging. I mean, everything for, and then you look at this bill in Title 8, Section 60801, support for debt relief for developing countries. I am so sick and tired of seeing all of our taxpayer money going to fund debt relief for countries that hate us. We need to start taking care of Americans first. We have got to start putting Americans first. This is not rocket science. This is not a difficult concept. This is not a Republican versus Democrat concept. Of course, now they're trying to make it one. They being the Democrats. This is something that should be a total bipartisan, put America first agenda. And it's crazy to me. What is frustrating is that this bill will be voted on this week, and it will likely vote. It will pass the House because the Democrats have the majority. So many people get frustrated and say, "Do your damn job! Stop this! Please do this." At this point, Republicans do not have the majority. We do not have the votes. There is no changing that until midterms. And that is why I repeatedly say that midterm elections are so important. Fighting amongst Republicans is counterintuitive. It's counterproductive. I know people are frustrated with rhinos. People are frustrated with the very conservative people, everyone in between. Guys, it does no good for Republicans to be slamming Republicans. We're in the minority. Why would we continue to fight each other when we have bigger fish to fry? We actually have a country on the line. And as you can see by the garbage that I have been reading for the last year, it is clear that the left does not want to put America first. They want to put America last. And I don't know about you, but Republicans have got to take back the House so we can put America first and stop the madness that is playing out right now. And so I know it's frustrating. Y'all are like, listen, get to work. I can tell you right now, it's Monday. Tomorrow's a fly-in day, so most of my colleagues are at home in their districts. I fly in a day early because I want to sit down and read the bills and meet with my team who's working on a lot of different initiatives. And you have heard me say, it is so, so important to read the bills. We have to read the bills because you find all this garbage in them. What sounds good on the surface level of 30,000 foot, that's great. But remember, I lost everything. My family lost everything because people didn't read the bills. And so many people have lost so much. Our country has lost so much because of the garbage that gets tucked into the legislation. So there are some good parts of the bill that I wish could stand on their own merit. This is why I support single issue bills. I think these giant comprehensive packages are really, really dangerous. They never yield the results that are positive. They don't encourage the compromise that everyone talks about. It has gotten to the point where there's so much garbage thrown into every single bill that it's virtually impossible to support them because you're going to get poison pills, not one or two, but dozens, just like this bill. I just went through probably 15 pages of pure poison pills, and I'm not even halfway through. So just think about this when you start hearing about it this week. It's called the Compete Act, America Competes Act, and it has nothing to do with America competing. What it does is, at the end of the day, is it makes it so America concedes. And now more than ever, we have to be tough on China. And I would encourage you, look to people who are actually doing the work, not just talking about it, but doing the work, reading the bills, really digging into the legislation, because we've got a lot of folks that want to talk a big game, but they're not doing the work. So I am very, very cautious about this kind of legislation. I think it's important to keep you guys updated on what's going on. As you can see, I probably have another 60 some odd pages or so to go in this. But we've got a lot of work on our hands, guys. We've just come through 52-ish weeks of the Biden administration, and it has been 52 weeks of hell. And I have said it before, we've got to hold on tight for the next 12 months. We've got to take the House back. We're going to be working very hard on that regard. I can't talk about that on this channel, on my official congressional channel. I can talk about it on the other one, not on this one. But again, I see so many messages on here. Why haven't we impeached Biden? Why can't we get rid of Nancy Pelosi? Why can't we do this? Let me tell you why. We don't have the votes. We don't have the votes. It's really that simple. We do not have enough Republicans. And I'm saying even with every single Republican behind us, we do not have the votes. This is why elections are so, so important. Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House because she has more Democrats in the House than we have Republicans. So that is really the frustrating part about it. It's awful. We have become completely dependent on China for so many things, for pharmaceuticals, for our PPE, for widgets. Basically everything is made in China, and it's disgusting. I did a video on these masks that Nancy Pelosi gave us. She sent these to every office. They're made in China. They're made in China. They're not even effective. You guys, these kind of masks, these KN masks, they don't do a damn thing. If my husband's a first responder, okay? You have to have these masks specialty, right? It has to be like a pressure seal for it to actually be effective. So it's all just nonsense. So, guys, I know. I see your I see your comments. I see how frustrated you are. Yeah, lots of questions about all the things about why we can't impeach, what are we doing to hold him accountable? What we are doing right now, and this is something that I think is important. Others may think this is a waste of time, but I think this is really important. Reading the bills exposes what's in them, because then it gets everyday Americans, one, educated about what's going on. You're not going to get this information from mainstream media. One, because you can't digest it in 30 seconds, right? And everybody wants this in like a tweet. Well, to run a country, you have to be able to actually dig into the legislation. To legislate, you have to actually talk about it and have some thoughtful conversations and dialogue. So the thing that I am so adamant about is really digging into this and then exposing it. Because once you expose it, people start waking up and saying, well, wait a minute, I thought that bill was supposed to be for America or for our veterans or for this or for that, right? Well, this is the whole thing here. We're exposing all the nasty things that have been tucked in it that the career politicians don't want you to find out about, because they're hoping that if they throw enough things in a bill and they make it so big and so massive that we'll all just kind of be like, and then you don't have anything to talk about. You don't have anything to fight against. And people say, oh, it's just a bad bill. And then people say, well, why? At least now you know. So if you're concerned about the elections, I'm going to be doing a video on the political side of things. I have to do nothing but policy on this side, guys. So sorry. That is the rules. And I'll do that tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I get your frustration. I live it every day. And the thing that is going to change is when Republicans take the House back. That's the only thing that's going to change. And for the fights between Republican on Republican violence, I'm sorry, that does nothing. It does nothing but give Democrats fundraising opportunities. And I'm not going to help Democrats. I'm just not. They're not doing what's best for the country, so I'm not going to help them. And every time you encourage a Republican to attack another Republican, or get into that squabble, only Republicans lose in that. Democrats win. So we have got to get to a place where we can have these family discussions and then move forward. But when you're in the minority, we have to stand so firm, so steadfast against what their agenda is. So you guys have been calling. You guys helped defeat the so-called voting rights, right? You guys were a huge part in making those phone calls and getting attention on an issue that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer thought that they were just going to force through. They didn't think you guys were going to be paying attention. They didn't think that people were going to care. They thought that they could do all kinds of distractions in the media, and you guys came through. The calls matter. The engagement, the civic engagement matters. And so if you want to call on this bill, absolutely you can. Like I said, it's called the Competes Act. I call it the Concedes Act. And I just gave you probably 15 pages of pure poison pills that help China rather than hold China accountable. And I think that's the thing that we really should hang our argument on, is that this is supposed to be about America first, not about China. So I'm kind of flipping through, seeing if you guys have any questions. Somebody just said, I got my COVID test in the mail today. They're made in China. Yep. That's majorly frustrating. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I just dropped a bill here and wanted to do a Buy American Act. So my bill would force the House of Representatives to buy American products, buy American masks, buy American testing kits. I mean, why in the heck we don't manufacture them, I don't know, but it's crazy. And I know you guys have so many questions, comments. There's a lot of stuff going on with SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, Border Patrol. Really cool video that we're going to be doing this week. I'll be doing it live with the Border Patrol agents from the, they'll be at the border. I'll be up here in Washington, and you guys will get to hear directly from them. Barbara Holt. Hey, what do you want us to do? Who do we call about this bill? If you want to call, you guys know I will totally sound the alarm and be like, get on the phones now. This is one of those bills that it's going to likely pass the House. And then there's elements of this bill that have already passed the Senate. So it's a little bit more of a complicated parliamentary procedure. But I wanted to make you aware of what's going on. This has a little bit of ways this week. There are several amendments that are being added to the bill. I've introduced several amendments, like defunding the UN environmental funds and getting rid of the UN slush funds, and basically really, really tough bills against China that will probably not make it into the final bill text. But I just wanted to flag this whole process for you early on in the week, because as you guys know, the weeks get kind of crazy, and I don't always get a chance to check in. So for right now, you don't have to call. You don't have to pull the alarm or anything, but I do appreciate you guys continually engaging. Ooh, Lisa, good point. The tax returns. I will do a separate video on taxes and what to expect for your 2021 tax returns, and what changes you'll be seeing. And yeah, I'll definitely do a separate video on that. I'll make a note of that. So thank you for that. Victoria, what is the name of the bill? I'm always up late. The name of the bill is officially America Competes Act. That's what it is. I'm calling it the America Concedes Act because it basically puts America last. All right, let me see. Diana, yes, let's let people know what is really being voted on. Please hold the line. You know I will. You know I will. Let me see. Oh, thanks, guys. I appreciate all the kind comments in here. Thank you. I know if I seem a little tired, it's because I am so tired. I didn't get much sleep last night, and I got into DC really, really late. But let me see. Maryland, are there no Democrats that care about the future of our country or have something against, or have common sense to vote against something when it's wrong? Maryland, let me tell you something. I have had some really honest, candid conversations with my Democrat colleagues, and I have heard them say things like, Kat, I agree wholeheartedly with you on this, but I can't support you because Nancy Pelosi will take me off my committees. Or I can't support that because people back home some of the activist groups will, they'll primary me. There's so many political games that are played up here, guys, and people forgot a long time ago that it should be about good policy, because if you're doing right by the policy, that's good politics. But people are choosing instead to put party politics ahead of good policy. So it's really, really frustrating. Joanna, bringing things to light kills the evil. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I appreciate it. Hey, Alice, it's good to see you. And yes, the federal government is out of control. That is why we're working overtime to try to rein it in. That's why it's, oh gosh, I don't know what time it is. Probably 9 o'clock at this point. Yeah, it's 9 o'clock and I'm still here in the office reading, because it is very important. But just give you guys kind of a bit of a perspective of schedule. Like, check this out. This is what my schedule is kind of looking like. I mean, this is why it gets so crazy. It's nuts. I will have a full-blown update for you guys. I know this video is getting really long, but I did want to give you a quick update on the Competes Act. I know it was not quick. I apologize. I owe you guys videos on Supreme Court, on border, a CR, continuing resolution, which the government will come to a grinding halt apparently in the next couple weeks because the Democrats can't get their stuff together. So I'll do a video on CRs and what a continuing resolution is. And I'll also do one on taxes. If you guys have any more suggestions on videos that you guys want, just drop me a note in the comments and I will be happy to do those for you. One thing I want to do this week that I'm really excited about, and I hope you guys like this, I'm going to show you the system that offices use when you call in and write in and how it all works. So I'm going to show you a behind the scenes of how congressional offices communicate with their constituents, because I think you'll really appreciate seeing what happens to your emails when you email in and what happens when you call the office. And it's pretty cool. So we'll do it live for you guys so you can see how it happens in real time. And then you know exactly where all your opinions and calls and comments and emails and faxes and snail mail, handwritten letters go to. So I hope that'll be helpful. And let me see. Got some stuff going on voter integrity. In fact, I have a meeting tomorrow on it. So this is what my team gives me. And tomorrow have a meeting I saw a couple people mentioning elections. There is a Faith in Elections project that I'm a part of, and it is election integrity caucus stuff. And so what we are doing is working on legislation to reinforce states' role in elections. And I'm really excited about that. And then we go through identifying pinpoint problems, how we can restore the checklist for the states, protecting free speech, confidence in elections, and there's a draft bill that we're working on right now. You can see it. Does not have an HR number yet, but we're working on that, and we'll be giving feedback on that. So, yeah. Guys, I can't thank you enough for the support. The last couple days, we've noticed that a lot of our posts have not been getting the feedback that we normally get. And when we did some behind the scenes checking and we're working through all of our analytics, it looks like Facebook was shadow banning us. So it's helpful when you guys comment. It's helpful when you guys share, because that basically gets around what Facebook is trying to do. So thank you guys so much for continuing to share and promote the work that we're trying to do and helping educate your friends, your neighbors, your family, your coworkers. There's so much junk going on up here that it's exhausting at times. But I'm going to get a good night's sleep tonight, And then tomorrow morning I'm gonna be up and early and I'm gonna finish reading this dang bill. And we're gonna fight like hell against it the whole week. And then, like I said, I owe you guys a ton of videos. So again, thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. And yeah. Oh, Tabby, why is there a wall on the Capitol? And what is going on at the White House? Tabby, I have no idea what's going on at the White House, to be perfectly honest. With the Capitol, I did do some digging on that. And there is one section of the Capitol where there's it's a kind of a wall looking thing. They're replacing some of the stones, and they have to do that because they're actually crumbling. And so they're doing structural integrity construction. It's only on that one side. You can actually walk through it. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, and another cat just says, will you list some of your concerns so we can contact our Congress critters and senators so we can share on Facebook? Yes, Cat, I will absolutely do that. And let me see. Donna asked, honestly, how many congressional members read the bills? Do they just take someone else's word for what's in it? I don't know many members that read the bills. When I go down to the floor to vote, I actually carry briefing memos with me. Let me see. Here's an example. Oh, no, that's a floor prep. I don't have one here with me right now, but I can show you guys. I always take a breakdown memo that the team prepares, and then it usually has the text of the bill. And then when people are on the House floor, if they're debating how they're going to vote, I'll talk to them sometimes, share the legislative text with them. There's floor staff that helps too. So let me see what else we got. We need more people like you to actively engage with your constituents. Yeah, I think that given all the technology that we have, there's no reason why people don't engage with their constituents more. It's pretty frustrating, but thank you for that. I love reading y'all's comments. Y'all are wonderful. Noreen, why don't the citizens of the United States have a right to vote on these things? Well, we are a constitutional republic. Therefore, we elect our representatives who vote on our behalf. So our representatives are our voice in Congress. So I am the voice of 766,000 people, which every day kind of weighs on you. And it should if you're doing your job right, I think. But that is in a representative constitutional republic. That's how it's done. You elect people to go and be your voice. And trust me, I think that people would, given how easily corruptible the media is and just bad information that's out there, no one can sit down and read bills like this. I've been doing this all day. I mean, that's why we have the system that we have. Where can we find out what is actually in this bill to look over ourselves? That's from Brenda. Brenda, you can go to GovTrack. I can actually also drop a link to the bill text for you so you can see that. And you can take a look for yourselves. And like I said, I already gave you the bill numbers, or I'm sorry, the page numbers in the bill for you to go look at. Please repeat the name and number of the bill. I missed what you said. Can you include a visual, not just an audio explanation when you discuss bills? Yeah, I think I could. I could grab a whiteboard and kind of list some stuff out for you if that would help. Let me know if you guys would like me to do some whiteboard explanations where I just kind of have stuff mapped out on a whiteboard. Let me know if that would be helpful. And on the bill number, oh my gosh, I have so many papers everywhere. Hold on a second. It's the America Competes Act. That's what it is. I'll have to find the bill number. Hold on a second. Like I said, I mean, there's some stuff in here that I absolutely would support. You know, like advanced computing programs and semiconductor chip manufacturing, like that stuff, absolutely. Oh, you know what? I'll drop. Oh man, I don't want to get all my pages messed up. I haven't stapled it together yet. I'll post all this in the comments for you. Asking for an update on Henry Cuellar, if he's on the verge of losing his seat. I can't talk about that on this channel. On the Cammack, the other page is where I can talk about that. Are they going to try and make it where you need your vaccination card to vote? They better not. Oh, my goodness. These mandates are out of control. The IRS hasn't, Cat Wright says, or I think White, the IRS hasn't released my tax credit for the past 2 years. If you're one of my constituents, if you're in our district, feel free to call our office. 202-225-5744 is our office number. We can help you with that. And Dana, America Competes Act is a bunch of bull crap. Well said, Dana. 100%. All right. Oh my goodness, y'all. Well, you guys are wonderful. I don't want to keep this video going, and I know it's getting super, super long. It's probably up to like 45 minutes at this point. But yeah, I'll drop in some of the page numbers and a link to the bill. But this isn't one where, like I said, you know, I've called on you guys before, and I'm like, listen. Sorry, I got a hair in my and you know, I'm like, listen, all hands on deck. We've got to start hitting the phones. This is not one of those situations. We still have a few days of getting the bill in its final form. Pretty much this whole thing about offering amendments, it's just going to be for show. They're not going to accept any amendments from any Republicans. We know that. So the bill is pretty much in its final form, but we still have to go through the process of rules committee and everything. So they have the votes for the bill. It is gonna be just a horrific mess. And like I say, I'm not defeated. I do not have a defeatist attitude. I am still incredibly hopeful and optimistic for what's to come when the Republicans take back the House. But this kind of stuff, like I said, it's helpful to expose it, because then when elections do come, when election time comes, you guys can explain, listen, they had this bill that was supposed to hold China accountable. Did they do it? No. Because they just have an America Last agenda. So, let me see. I will go through your comments. Holy smokes. You guys are amazing. I hope you all had a good weekend. We worked all weekend. Oh, thank you. Somebody said that I need to get some sleep. Probably because I look so dang tired. But thank you guys. Seriously, thank you so much for all your support. Normally I'm pretty fired up, and I am fired up. Trust me. This kind of stuff is so frustrating to sit here and read, but so important too. And like I said, we've been a little concerned that Facebook has been shadow banning us a little bit. So it'll be curious to see what the feedback on this video is. So yeah, but I have a lot of videos that I owe you guys for this week, and I promise I will get to them. I'll keep them very short, or as short as I can. You guys know I'm obviously long-winded. And then, like I said, we've got some pretty cool videos coming up. So really excited. Thank you guys again, and I will be talking to you soon. Thanks. Good night.